this like as we're going. Just somebody hit
Yeah.
stream.
Did you get
Okay.
tea?
And we'll just.
I have some iced
Wait.
tea.
Did everyone do a number 8?
Yeah, I took care of
Okay.
that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So guys, do you want to do a show? You ready?
Yeah. Should we
Okay.
do a show?
Let's do a show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 55 of Gamestack Podcast, the annual 2019 Stack Awards. Yay! I'm Shalene, and I am joined by my lovely co-hosts, Fendertron, hello,
Welcome, sir or madam.
and Rick McVick.
I'm not wearing any pants down here.
Well, I mean, are you ever?
Yes, I am.
Really?
You're really low, by the way. It's like
That visual gag is going to be really great on our audio podcast.
I'm a sloucher. What can I say?
So, guys, how are you doing? I missed you.
uh
Don't everybody
good.
talk at once?
yeah.
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Doing good?
New job on the way. Transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you started that already. I guess
No.
not, eh?
We've been through this, Fender.
I know. I keep forgetting. I keep
You called
asking
me
too. I'm like,
absent-minded.
Rick, how's the new job? You're like, I haven't started
Yes,
it yet.
like the fourth time you've asked him how the new job.
January 20th. is when I
Oh,
start.
my
So yeah, it'll be
dear.
a good time.
Well, you
How are you?
guys, it's so cold you could freeze the
How
brass tits
cold
off
is
a
it?
monkey.
What?
You killed my punchline.
I was trying to.
Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. You guys, it's so cold.
How cold is it?
It's so cold you could freeze the brass tits off a monkey. I don't know why I went southern there. That was weird.
Yeah,
No,
northern.
it's like super cold here, you guys. It's gonna be minus 48 Celsius this weekend, which means that's like minus 50 Fahrenheit.
in proper degrees.
Yeah, in freedom degrees. I think that's how it.
Right, because 0 degrees is 35 or something, minus 35.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
Makes
gosh.
sense.
Guys, I
Yeah.
forgot the Christmas lights up.
That's okay.
I did see
Um,
them.
Many of our
just
listeners
wanted to take
probably
those
have their
down.
Christmas trees still up. So, do you guys have your Christmas
do.
trees still up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
me
also
too.
have mine still up.
So it's fine. It counts.
Well,
Okay.
our tree pickup is tomorrow. We're probably not going to make the deadline again because we never do.
You have
get a
tree
collection of-
pickup?
Tree pickup?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
God, are your streets lined with gold?
Doesn't everybody?
Yes, more.
We don't
No,
even have
Jesus.
trash pickup, dude.
No, our streets are lined with trash, white trash, and trees on occasion.
Oh my dear.
Airy Twitch says Shalene looks lovely in her designer awards gown.
Indeed.
Jewelry by Tiffany.
I should have. I thought about this, but I thought about ordering a tuxedo T-shirt.
Tuxedo t-shirt. Yeah.
Should have.
Yeah, if I'd felt a little better today, I might have gone fancy, but no, I'm just in my
Yeah.
cozy sweater. So
I couldn't be bothered to fish out the bow tie and
yeah.
Just
It's
a
not
bow
gonna
tie
happen.
With, like what you're wearing now.
That would be amazing.
I mean I could make that happen in like 5 seconds, but
Yeah, I was looking around for something fancy to wear. I don't have anything to wear.
You have nothing to
Okay.
wear. Huh.
Shalene, how was your week, Shalene?
It was tough. I had a tough week. Yeah. Had a
Hmm.
migraine today. That was not the best. So
Oh boy.
Yeah, I took like a 3-hour nap before the show. So yeah, it was a tough week this week, but it's
Mhm.
over. It's over. Yeah. We're doing the
Glad
Stack
it's over.
Awards. Yeah.
Stack
me too.
Awards.
I'm looking forward to the Stack Awards. It's one of my favorite episodes of the year.
Yeah,
I
it's
enjoy
very refreshing, because we can
Mm-hmm.
sort of recap the year and let's move on to the next one, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it heavily biased towards what we've played because, like, we can't
Well, of
afford all
course
the games
it
that
is.
come out.
Well, I
And
will
it's just-
say that this year I took that into consideration, and I looked at all of the nominees across many different award things and all of the new games that came out, and I tried to impartially make decisions based on my impressions of, audio and design and things like that. So,
I didn't.
but I will say that, there is some bias.
Well, plainly, I mean, this is not.
It's the Stack Awards.
Yeah,
It's
this-
stacked.
But yeah, that's they didn't. Nobody's listening to us to hear us talk about games we didn't play, dude. That's. What's your favorite
True.
game that you didn't play this year?
All of them.
See,
Oh,
I
yikes.
had to go into games that I haven't played because all the games that I'm playing came out like a decade ago. So
yeah, that's always a challenge with
5,
us
The
as
Witcher.
well. Okay, my dears, should we do a podcast?
let's hop right into it.
Okay, so before
Yes.
we do that, we have some things to mention. A little bit of housekeeping to take care of. So,
Oh, man.
Vendor, do you want to make this announcement? This next
Yes,
announcement? I
big
think you
announcement,
should.
big announcement.
Don't worry, it's a good one. We're not ending any podcasts.
Drum roll, drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode of That Fallout Show, January 24th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will be hosting live, coming to your earbuds, Victoria Rosenthal, who is the author of the official Fallout cookbook. And she will be joining us on the show at the start of the show and perhaps maybe even through the rest of the show. And she's going to share with us her experiences about building and putting together that wonderful, wonderful piece of literature. And I'm also going to share my personal journey through that cookbook with her. But we also invite you guys to send in any questions via email or Twitter if you would like to ask her some questions. But we also encourage you to join us live on the show in the chat so that you can ask her questions live right here on the show. We also encourage, if you completed any of the recipes, prepared any of the recipes in her cookbook, send them in to us or tweet them out at us. Hashtag
TFS nailed it.
TFS nailed it. Yes, thank you, Shalene. And we'll share those photos just as we do any other challenge on the show, and we can talk about them. And so there it is, Victoria Rosenthal. She has kindly agreed to join us on the next episode of TFS. And guys, I am so excited.
Yay.
I'm so excited. Are you excited?
I am. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
She's such
Yeah.
a sweet person. She's just, she's like us. She's just going through life, and she streams a lot, and I like to watch her stream. She actually she streams a lot of cooking of the recipes of the books that she's published. So she was making the sweet rolls one night from Skyrim, and although I don't know if she's published that recipe, don't quote me on it, but she's made some Halo recipes as well and things like that. It's been really, really quite nice. So
That's neat.
Very cool.
so that's something we have to look forward to on the next episode of TFS.
Indeed. We also still have a bunch of stickers and postcards, you guys. And we would like to give those away. So if you would send a self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 396.
Vendor's giving you the finger, Shalene.
Okay.
No, I'm just props.
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 Good job.
Oh.
Good job.
Mm.
Yes, postcards and stickers with the Gamestack and That Fallout Show logos. We have boxes of these things, and we would like to give them to you. Just send that self-addressed stamped envelope to P.O. Box 396, Corona, New Mexico 88318. Or alternately, if you live in Canada, you can just message Vendortron, I believe, and he will get you.
You know how we're always saying that we play great games badly? Well, we do merchandising badly as well.
Yes,
You
we
can
do.
actually take the Gamestack sticker and just put it on an existing coffee mug, and bam, Gamestack mug.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's as
Lovely.
good as the real thing, you guys. And it even goes through the dishwasher. So
But yeah, we'd love to give you those stickers.
I got a kick out of this. I just got an alert on my phone that we had a comment on episode 34 of that Fallout show, and it's from DFW Insomniac.
Okay.
You know who that is?
yeah.
It said to just play the game and get over yourself. Shots fired moment made me accidentally spew beer on my desk. So guys, it's official. We've gotten a spit take from our show.
Yes.
Oh dear. Speaking of ways to comment on our show, another great way is to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Vendortron.
Vendortron. That's the new.
Nice.
It's my new line of tequila.
Vendortron.
My new line of
Nice.
tequila that I'm putting out. Vendortron.
Would you like
so-
to thank a 5-star
But
review?
do you have to say it with like Shilling? I mean, you're the resident Spanish expert. Do you have to say the V like a B, like Vendetron?
I mean, yeah, that's great. Vendortron.
We have a single 5-star review shout out coming at us from the US. Brock DeMock says it's simply a great podcast.
And you're simply a great listener, Brock.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you, America. If you would like to leave us a 5-star review shout out, all you guys got to do is go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, search that Fallout show or Gamestack, and you can leave us a 5-star review and a little message, and we will shout you out on the show. And we have a couple of people from the Discord, I think.
I forgot the Discord people.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, we didn't forget. We want to send a great big welcome to Gaming Thief, who is our sole entrant into the foyer. So,
Thank you,
or
Gaming
as
Thief.
as you like to call it, foyer,
Foyer.
which is like totally ass backwards,
Foyer.
but that's okay.
Come on into the foyer. We have
Yeah.
a third day up
Oh
in the
my
bathroom,
goodness. If
baby.
any of you are still listening out
We're gonna
there
cut that
to this
part out,
terrible,
so don't worry.
terrible trash fire, today we have a bit of light news. We're keeping it a little bit light on the news end because of the Stack Awards. And because of the Stack Awards, we are skipping GameStock and also skipping our gameplay because we're basically talking about our gameplay for the entire year. So... and we do have a lovely email that was addressed to us regarding Game of the Year issues. So
really?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. Yes. And as always, thank you to Joseph Tao for helping us compile the news. I believe he's in chat. I believe we have all 3 of our lovely mods in the chat, which is always a good time. And so we are
It's
going...
unprecedented.
Nah, we've had them all here before.
Don't cross the streams, you guys. Get it? Get it? Huh?
Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, so it is time for our favorite thing, the January new releases. Rick, I love it. This just in.
All right. So coming up here, January 2020. And I'm not talking about the hindsight. I'm talking about the foresight into the future of what's releasing this month. And we've got Dr. Kawashima. The first one off the bat. Kawashima's?
Dr. Kawashima's brain.
Brain Training. Comes out for the Switch on January 3rd in I guess in just Europe.
On the Switch.
So if anyone wants to get that anywhere outside of Europe, sorry, you won't know how to train on a brain.
So wait a minute. I think this is it like a puzzle? Is that?
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
brain training games were a huge thing on the DS. Like
Yeah, they were.
they were a big deal. Everybody's mom had
Yeah.
the brain training games.
Everybody's mom.
Yeah.
Even Stacy's.
Even
mom.
Stacey.
Wow, it looks
she
really
had it going
cool.
on, I heard.
There's pictures of people playing it with a stylus with their Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
which
that
is
was what was
interesting.
Professor Nutbutter's House of what was Professor Layton?
Professor Layton
was
is a
a great
completely different thing.
I know, but it was puzzle. So like I
Yeah,
was
it's
saying in the
puzzles.
DS world there was like puzzle games galore.
Yes. Yes, many puzzles.
But that comes out again January 3rd for the Switch in just EU. So
Okay.
there you go. Monster Hunter World: Iceborne expansion comes out for the PC on January 9th, and on January 10th you have The Blind Prophet on the PCs.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see that game going anywhere. But anyway, we've got.
I don't see the appeal.
He can't see the
Ugh.
future.
Don't be blinded by your opinions.
Blinded by the light. Atelier Dusk Trilogy.
Atelier, perhaps?
Atelier. Yeah.
Oh, really? Is that what?
Yeah.
Eight layer
Atelier.
trilogy deluxe. No. So what is it again?
Atelier?
Atelier. I never would have got it.
Oh boy.
French. Atelier Dusk Trilogy Deluxe Pack on PC, PlayStation 4, and Switch on January 14th. On January 17th, you can expect Tokyo Mirage Sessions Fee Encore.
Fee?
FE, actually. FE.
I bet that's
Oh.
no.
No, that's Iron. Isn't Iron FE?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but Iron
so-
FE is big F little E,
Yeah.
Not all
Mhm.
caps. So
Okay, well.
Because
they
it's
didn't
Switch,
hit
I
the
thought
caps.
Fire Emblem, but I don't know if Fire Emblem would be Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I don't think so. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore on the Switch, January 17th, and also on January 17th, you can get Dragon Ball Z: Kakarot on PC,
What?
PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Kakarot's a character in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh.
Kakarot. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't remember which one he is, but I know he's a character in that. So.
Right.
On January 21st, you can get Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection on PC, PlayStation 4, X1, and Switch. Moons of Madness on PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Also on January 21st. I don't know. I felt like saying it like that.
Well, it is a spooky
This-
game, so.
It's a spoopy game
Mhm.
in January.
Yeah. Well, it came out for consoles. No, for PC. It came out on PC on Halloween.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. On January 23rd / the 25th, they're not sure which release date is which. Kingdom Hearts 3: Remind DLC. So that comes out on PS4 and Xbox One.
Remind me
Probably
which one
PlayStation
that
4
is?
on the 23rd. I don't know. It's going to go the way of Final Fantasy with like Kingdom Hearts 15, and since it's Disney, it's going to have like the Marvel Universe, Xenon Girl, the 21st Century, and like something from the Goof Troop, like all smashed into one game, which actually sounds kind of fun. But anyway, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: Remastered Edition on PlayStation 4, Switch, Android, and iOS on January 23rd. You know, I just realized we should do something with this bit once. We should do like have a beat, and I have to kind of like hip hop it up like a cool kid.
That's potentially the worst idea you've ever had.
It is. Like as I said, it doesn't sound bad. Like, never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
Journey to the Savage Planet.
Can you fit it in a haiku? Like what?
I mean,
Have you guys seen the trailer for Journey to the Savage Planet?
No.
It's literally like a mini version of the Outer Worlds.
Oh, really?
Looks very endearing. Like the little aliens are cute and they're running around, and then you shoot them and they blow up in a green ball of goop. It's fun. Looks fun.
Archon says that Tokyo Mirage game is a Japanese RPG where pop stars slay monsters.
that sounds awesome.
Formouse
I
says, "I
just-
wish." Formouse says, "I wish I lived somewhere I needed a fan in January. It's -30 here. It's snowing where Shalene is, but
It is. It's snowing.
it's probably still like +30.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Let me
Is
check.
is the snow real, or is it like chemtrails? Maybe.
It's definitely snow. We've got about 3 inches so far. Let me just check the weather here.
While Rick continues
It
on
is
with the list.
29 degrees.
Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Let's
like
see what it
+1.
is here in the Pennsylvania.
Hey Siri,
Oh, it's 48 degrees here in PA.
what is 29 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
29 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 1.7 degrees.
Oh my God, that's practically short weather.
Oh, here, Archon, try this one. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. What is 48? Oh, wait, hold on a minute. I gotta turn the volume.
Boy, this
up
got
here.
derailed.
Of course it did. Why would it not? What is 48 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
48 degrees Fahrenheit is equal to 8.889 degrees Celsius.
There you go. So that's what it is right here in my little neck of the woods.
It's funny. Archon says it's 56 Fahrenheit where he is. It's actually minus 56 Fahrenheit where I am.
Hey, you guys are like
Wow.
on polar opposites.
That's crazy. It's a 100 degree difference.
So,
Anyways,
yeah,
wild.
Journey to the Savage Planet comes out on January 28th, along with Warcraft 3: Reforged
Okay.
for the PC, and Pillars of Eternity 2: Deadfire, PS4 and Xbox One. On January 30th, you get Through the Darkest of Times, which is PC, and no exact dates given yet on these 3 games, but Wizardry: Labyrinth of Lost Souls in the PC, Uragun, Steam Early Access.
No, you're a
PC.
gun.
No, you're a gun.
Cook, Serve, Delicious 3 is
Hey,
on PC, PlayStation 4,
that's
Xbox
great.
One, and Switch in January. I figured that might have be up your alley, vendor.
I don't know. Maybe.
You like cookie things.
Well,
mean,
just
Overcooked.
overcooked, but I don't think that
Just
makes me an expert.
Overcooked
you
is
like
so
cooking?
fun.
Do you
Yeah.
like cooking
Overcooked is great
game
fun.
recipes?
Really is.
It's chaos.
We're doing a podcast, not hanging
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a
So
free-
go ahead.
I had a segue. So, like this free podcast, you get some free games in January 2020. Not hindsight. PlayStation Plus games include the Uncharted Collection and Goat Simulator. I was so depressed when I remembered that I don't have PlayStation Plus because I'm like, I can finally play the Uncharted Collection, and guess what? I can't. It sucks. Anyway, and
Didn't realize that you were.
I need to
Didn't
send
realize
you a
that you wanted to
copy.
play it.
I've
I really wanna
almost
play
sent you a copy on several occasions, and I just never have done it.
Hmm.
One of these
Well,
days.
once I get my new job and I'll be rolling into bills,
Yeah,
maybe I can afford a game or 3.
indeed.
Anyway,
Thank you, Rick. That was the news for this week, month, year, whatever.
gosh, what
Let's-
horrible content we provide.
Let's move on to the Stack Awards, which is our annual Game Awards show. And we do things a little bit differently here. We don't know what our winners are yet, guys. We don't know what the winner of our awards is yet. How we handle this is each host brings a nomination for the category, and then we kind of talk it out on the air and pick a winner together. So the winners of these categories are going to be just as much a surprise to us as they are to you. We don't know what games the other hosts are going to talk about. And yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Do you guys have anything to add to our explanation there? Or?
We should determine a pecking order.
We should determine a pecking order.
Ladies first.
Okay. Just
So
go in
Rick-
the order on our screen here. So just like, top to bottom.
Wow, I
here.
managed to insult both of you at once. That did not turn out like I planned it.
Yeah, Shalene, let's kick him off the show. No.
Okay. Reset.
Oh, my
reset.
dears. Oh.
Just
This is gonna.
be fine. Yeah, Shalene. I mean, we could go top down.
Or who wants to go first?
I was gonna say
You.
top down on my screen's different on this screen, so we'll go by who's on the actual.
Just
Well,
as
if
if
you-
we're on
if you
something
pick-
and Ken
which
should
makes me
have
last.
some.
If you pick up your monitor and you turn it around,
Oh my dear.
then it'll be in the right order. So-
Okay. Let's just
Shalene-
go.
Shalene, you go first. I will go second. Rick, you go last.
Okay. Best
Okay.
narrative. My nominee for best narrative is Life is Strange 2.
Oh.
Was that a 2019 game?
Well, several of the episodes were. Episode 1 released in 2018, but the rest of the episodes were
Okay.
2019. So,
Okay. So do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah,
or-
I really I thought they did a great job with the story. We haven't finished it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to be as happy with
This last
the
episode rocked
storytelling.
my world.
Yeah.
It really threw me for a loop.
hmm
But
But I do think they did a great job characterizing not only Sean and Daniel, but also the many transient characters that have popped up, that have come and gone from these boys' lives. I
mhm.
really feel like all of these people were genuine, believable people, and I just it's a heartfelt story, and I quite enjoy it. I quite enjoy it. So
Okay.
that's mine.
Cool.
My nomination for best narrative, and this might come as a surprise, but A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Oh, that was almost my vote.
So this game caught me by surprise this year. And I've watched a lot of people stream it and play it because I want to play it, but it's like a $79 game here in Canada. So for a story-based game, that's a little bit of a
It's not that
uh,
long of a game for that much.
exactly.
It's
But
like $40 in the US,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
absolutely worth it.
the reason I love this so much is because it calls back to the historical references about the Black Plague. And as an epidemiologist, I think that this game really resonates with me quite a lot, and that's kind of what attracted me to it. You guys are familiar with the Black Plague, right?
Oh yeah.
Like,
We still
more or
have
less?
cases of the
Yeah.
Black Plague in New Mexico. Did you know that? We have about 8 cases of bubonic plague a year.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it was
Are you- wait,
devastating.
where are you? You are international.
Yeah. We also
Well, I
get
mean-
flesh-eating disease down here,
Yeah.
hantavirus.
Well, hantavirus is widespread, but
Mhm.
I mean, there's still cases. The I think the most deadliest outbreak globally was in Madagascar a couple years ago.
Matahupa?
Madagascar.
That was a Madagascar show.
Anyways, the
Movie. They
region.
do the.
Anyways, that is my choice. Not only just for narrative, and that's not foreshadowing, but I just think that it was really well done. Having watched the trailers and some of the gameplay footage, and then other people that I know streaming it, I still really want to play it.
It's great.
And
It's really
I do
excellent.
want to. I want to play it just because it looks like a really enjoyable game, but also because it's like part of like my training and everything that I do professionally. So it's looks really interesting, and it's basically like a Hellblade.
Okay, so I need to send you a copy of Plague Tale and send Rick a copy of Uncharted, and then we'll be sorted.
Yep.
Sounds good. Rick,
what
what's
about
your
you?
nominee?
My nominee for best narrative is Metro Exodus.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was thinking back on it, and of all the games that I played in 2019 that were from 2019, it was the one that I remember the most as far as experiences go. And so, what was really fun was it took place on this like you were constantly moving around to different semi-open area maps on this train with your band of fellow army guys and your wife, and you go through the marriage, and then you go through like I think a child's birthday party. There are some missions that are open area where your train gets stuck, and then there's some ones that are linear, and you just see different people groups that are trying to survive in the area and interacting with their stories, which are completely separate from what you're trying to do, even in the same like country. It was just really cool how they created this. Sometimes it's hard for games to like have like an ultimate goal that is believable or it's impactful or like a threat that's actually like a threat or feels like a threat. And this game genuinely had those moments where you're like, I really have to do this, I really have to beat this, or I really have to save this person. They did a really good job at choices. It was really good. It was a very good narrative. So that's my nominee.
Excellent. Excellent. So we've got to choose a winner. We've all brought a different nominee. I'm willing to throw a vote behind A Plague Tale because that was almost my nominee. It was very close.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
There you go.
alrighty.
So the winner of this year's Best Narrative Stack Award.
Can somebody who
Plague
types a little quieter than I am just type them into the notes so that we have a record of who the winners are?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
And our next category is Best Art. And my nominee for Best Art is a game called Manifold Garden. And Manifold Garden, you guys should Google this if you aren't familiar with Manifold Garden. It's got this incredible MC Escher-esque art style. It's unlike anything you've ever seen in a video game. And that is so rare. It's entirely unique. And it's Manifold Garden's a very special game. It's really
It's like
cool.
Sketched or something.
Yeah, it was made primarily by one person, William Cheer, over years, over a period of years. He worked on it, and he did hire some people to help out during the final push to release this year. But it's remarkable how much work this gentleman did on this game, and it's a very special game with such a unique art style. I adore it.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Monument Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's very puzzle-esque kind of, and the tones, the color tones are almost identical.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I think I might like this game.
I think you might too. It's really cool. It's very calming to play. It's very relaxing. It's the kind of game that you just smile while you're playing, you know?
Okay.
Feels
okay.
good.
Yeah.
So that's my nominee. Fender, what was your best art in 2019?
This was a tough one, you guys, because there was a lot of great games that came out that were very realistic.
Mhm.
And the art for those games were very well done. And I throw Red Dead Redemption PC on that same table
Oh, yeah.
because it did release this year, even though the game overall did not release in 2019. And it was tough to kind of, because art styles they're unique. Like you said, Manifold Garden is a unique art style. So I was looking for something that just kind of went above and beyond in capturing the world, and the story. It was weaved well into the storyline as well, and the game mechanics. And that nomination for me has to be The Outer Worlds. So this game has captured me in every way that Fallout has in terms of its art. And you guys know what kind of the art style that we know and love in Fallout. So I'm absolutely fascinated with the detail and the work that's gone into the posters and the signs and objects and outfits in the world. So that is my nomination.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick, what do you have today?
Ditto.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, actually, I was thinking about this, and it was definitely The Outer Worlds for the best art, because, again, the posters, the way that everything looked, the themes that they chose, how it made me feel when I played the game for the first time, it all really worked together, and
It worked together, yeah.
And it was that perfect sense of newness and nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what pushed me over into that. And the planets were gorgeous. They were
Yes,
obscure enough
and
to
those
be
night
strange.
skies, and yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Lovely.
yeah. So there you go.
Sounds like we have a winner then. The Outer Worlds had the Best Art Stack Award for 2019. Congratulations to...
Congratulations, Obsidian.
Yes.
Yes,
No,
we
you're
will
listening.
send your fake check in the mail.
I really do need to make some stack awards and send them, at least like a certificate.
We should do
or
that.
something.
Well, yeah, certificate from this podcast, and we'll send them to the company.
Oh, my wife can 3D print them.
Yes,
Oh!
brilliant.
Have her
Everyone
make
gets an
little
award.
Trophies, little
trophies.
stacks of games.
She has gold, like shiny gold filament.
Perfect.
This
Well,
would
we'll
be
talk about this
incredible.
after. But,
I'll be
yeah.
happy to send them out. You can just send me the box, and I'll get them sent out to the companies. It's gonna be magnificent.
We could actually still do this right now. Okay, cool.
And we'll send them a copy of the show on vinyl.
Yes.
Yes. There's no way I could fit this on a disc. It's too long. Look at me getting all logical. You see, it's
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
man.
Jokes. Okay. Speaking of vinyl, which game had the best original soundtrack this year? I don't remember what my nominee was. Cadence of Hyrule. Plainly, yes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Cadence of Hyrule was not a game that was for me. It was my sense of rhythm is too bad to succeed at this game. Like it's a rhythm-based combat dungeon RPG. It's so many things going on at once. And it's
Okay.
a very special, unique game. And while it was not for me, I was blown away by the soundtrack. It's remixes of all of your favorite songs from the Zelda games over the years, and it's wonderful. It's a really wonderful soundtrack. So that was an easy nomination for me this year.
Okay. Which game?
Cadence of Hyrule.
Okay. Okay. My nomination this year for best original soundtrack is Death Stranding.
Ah,
And it's not because they chose a single artist to write the album, but that they went out into the community and they created an amalgamation to build their soundtrack that included artists such as Major Lazer, Churches, things like that.
Major Laser.
Even Home Depot, you guys. So some of the songs in the soundtrack include sound effects from that were recorded in Home Depot.
So is that
Like
why
the-
he's lost all the time? Because you're like, where are the nails at? And then the workers are, I don't know.
Well, I mean, some of the game audio is also recorded in Home Depot, but some of the soundtrack, like some of the tracks as well, include some of that audio. So I wanted to pay homage to that. So I thought that was kind of inventive.
And did you
but-
say Major Laser?
Yeah.
Major Laser?
Yeah.
Like, are we thinking of this? Is this the same Major Laser I'm thinking about with like the video where he like dives off of a ladder and lands on a girl and does the humpy motion? That
Yeah.
Major Laser?
Mhm.
He picked it. Hey, that's fine. It's just strange. That's all. It's like,
That's why it gets my nomination, because instead of, hiring a single artist, like Einon Zur or something like that, which I think is incredibly prestigious, and the album probably would have performed a lot better. They went out and they found artists that, were already out there and asked them to compose music. So yeah, so that's my nomination.
cool. Well, we're going to have a standoff here because my nomination is Metro Exodus again. when I
That was
remember-
my runner-up.
Yeah, when I think back on the way that game made me feel, the soundtrack and the music played a big part of it, because there would be times we were in a dark area that's claustrophobic and the music is tense, or you're in an open desert situation and there's like, you can see the wind moving flags and the dust is going by and you just have that open sense. And like, the music to me wasn't incredibly stand out. Like it didn't sit on top of everything. It just supported the environment. And that's kind of hard to do without, what's The Witcher for me. Like the music in The Witcher is just kind of like on top of everything. It's there. It's not the best. It's just fantasy game music.
you mean you don't
Um,
like those yelling ladies?
No, so, but right, it doesn't fit the moment. But like when you have a game where the soundtrack fits inside of the game, where it's part of the infrastructure of the game and not necessarily, an ulterior thing to the game. And that's the way Exodus made me feel. It was just all encompassing and it enveloped me into that environment. And then that was really good.
Fantastic.
That's my nomination.
Who's the composer for that? Oleski, I forgot his last name. Yeah, something Slavic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oleski.
I gotta look now. It's gonna bug me. Well, I gotta say, this was my runner-up.
Okay, sounds like we have a
So,
winner then.
Did I win?
The 2019 Stack Award for Best Original Soundtrack goes to Metro Exodus.
Here, here. There was
Indeed.
much rejoicing.
And that brings us
Uh.
along. Did you find the information you were looking for, Bender?
Alexei Omelchuk.
Alexei Omelchuk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very Ukrainian.
Well, congratulations to Mr. Omelchek for composing our.
Your award is in the mail, sir.
Just give us your home address.
Oh, you guys. That brings us to our next category, best audio overall. Not just sound, but the best audio. And this one was a little harder for me because I felt like there weren't that many standout, incredible audio games.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I agree.
What I ended up choosing, though, was Gears 5.
Okay.
Because it sounded just the way I wanted it to. It was. I thought they did a really good job with the sound effects. Rick's really mad at me now.
Good.
Hey, my choice is my choice. Okay, you can have your. That's why you get your own choice.
Yeah.
That's why we each get a nominee, Rick, and then we talk it out.
I'm not hating.
Yes, you are.
He's
I'm
just hating on the
objective.
game. He's just hating on the game. That's all.
Well, my choice was Gears 5 because I felt like they did a great job setting the atmosphere with the sound in Gears 5. And I felt like they did a good job telegraphing things that were going on in terms of sound. So that was my nomination, but like I said, there wasn't a huge standout in terms of audio for me. Like the year that Hellblade came out, it was far and away the winner.
Yeah.
There was no competition there.
Yeah.
But to me, there was no standout, so I had to dig deep to get this one. Fender, what's yours?
So my choice for best audio, or my nomination, I guess I should say, is Control by Remedy. So the audio is composed, I guess I should say, or created by Martin Stig Anderson and Petri Alenko, who are very, very well known sound engineers. And I though I haven't played the game, I've been interested in playing it. I've watched the trailers, and I've when it first was announced, and then it first came out, I started watching it being played. And so I kind of had to go back to it because I had forgot what it sounded like, but I remember like the effects were just amazing. The game is about stress basically, and they tried to capture this sort of core essence of the game, of this invisible sort of threat that's there, but you can't see him. His name is Hess. And so they had to capture that audio and design it for a character that's not in the game a lot of the time, which I thought that they've done really nicely. And I think that this is really quite incredibly difficult to do, because it requires them to sort of gauge the environment and build it just right, and build those thematic transitions and suspicions and fear, to be able to capture that essence. And so my nomination goes to them for best audio.
Very interesting.
And
Rick, what's your pick?
So before I do my nomination, I think I don't know if we've forgotten, but Resident Evil 2, I remember sounding really good.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that came out this year.
Yep. So I did too for a hot minute, and that sounded really good. The other thing too, the DLC for Battlefield 5, the South Pacific, they had introduced a few planes in that game, where the sound design team for DICE, as much as we hate on that company, they do the sound team does a lot of work, and that game sounds very good. And actually, they found there's like of these particular planes, there's only like 2 left functioning in the world from World War II. I think one of them was a Corsair, but anyway, that's what they had to go find these 2 planes and then record them. So
that's awesome.
That is really cool. But those are not my nominations. My nominations is again the Metro Exodus.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But the game was impactful. The game came out in February, and it's still in my head.
Yeah.
And I remember again, when you would make a choice and you would just hear like a whoosh kind of thing. You're like, I don't know. that good, bad? I don't know. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
it just does the "you've made a choice" noise. The way the guns seem to kind of clunk and clink as you reload them, especially some of the crappier ones, and they were like they weren't tight functioning machines; they were clunky. You'd wipe your mask off and and just like the tactile functions you would do. The corduroy esque sounds when you would like walk, stuff like that. It was always kind of tactile in its feel. The game made you feel like you were moving around and about in that game. And that's what really stood out to me when you heard the wind rustle through a building or a shack or something you were in, or the way that everything hollowed out when you were in a tunnel and things just sounded like really elongated and funky. Um, they who like I don't know, I didn't look into who did it or how they did it, but or if they didn't even they had no budget to do it. They did a great job of mimicking environments and creating an environment through audio that made you feel like you were a part of it. So
Great.
that's my nomination.
Fantastic.
Now what are we doing?
Now we have to pick a winner, and I'm not sure where to go from here.
Do we
I
toss
think
a
we should
coin?
let the chat decide on this one.
Oh, okay, well, let's take some votes from chat then.
What do you guys think? 1 for Gears 5, 2 for Control by Remedy, and 3 for Metro Exodus in the chat. Post us your numbers
Yeah, well,
and let us
that's
know.
TBD right now.
Indeed. So we'll just are we waiting for votes to roll in?
Jess says
Win.
Metro Exodus.
Okay.
I win.
Okay, that's
I
good.
win.
We've
I
got one
win.
vote.
I win. I win.
You guys
It's
are
a
so
race.
silly.
Well,
Oh,
I
dear.
guess,
Okay.
There's a
Oh,
second
yeah.
number
3.
3.
Ah.
All right, I think that settles it then. Unless we get a sudden surge of votes.
Don't. No.
I
no,
think that
we'll-
settles it.
Ah!
Guys, I think I know where best audio goes to.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that they brought that back? They made another limited run of
Nuka Dark.
Yeah, they did.
We're not oh, okay. Yeah.
Vendor, that was utterly brilliant. That was
Okay. Sorry. Anyways,
so our winner for
Number 3.
2019 Stack Award for Best Audio is Metro Exodus. Trying to make it a nice sound bite so that they can use that for future trailers, like when they're putting Game of the Year edition.
Oh
Ugh.
boy. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I am the way I am. Best acting.
We're all the way we are because of the way we are.
Best acting. My nominee for this was, again, an easy choice. My nominee for best acting is Telling Lies, which is a full motion video game made by Sam Barlow. You may remember me talking about this one. It has Clementine from Westworld in it as one of the characters.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a
Oh.
game where you are playing as someone who's investigating this situation, and I don't want to go too deeply into it because this is the kind of game that would be affected by spoilers. You want to discover these things on your own. But basically, you've got a computer screen in front of you, a computer desktop, and you have a search engine, and you can watch this video and use that video, the contents of that video, to search for keywords to bring up other videos. And you continue searching terms and you go deeper and deeper into this story featuring this man and 3 women that are involved in his life and the way that their lives intertwine. And it was a fascinating experience, and the acting was incredibly well done. All 4 of those actors were incredibly talented, and for me, it was an easy choice. Telling Lies had the best acting in video games this year.
Okay, Telling Lies. My nomination goes to Death Stranding because Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah.
It's great.
Glorious. It was great. I don't even know. I watched Squirrel Pool stream most of his gameplay, and it was awesome. And when I was thinking back to best actors, the only other time I had felt moved by acting in a video game like that was in Detroit Become Human. And I was
Wow.
going to write that down, but that was 2018. So, yeah, Death Stranding for me. Rick?
I too went with the Stranding of Death.
Oh my. Which actor
Yeah.
though?
Mads Mikkelsen. What'd you call him?
Mads Mikkelsen? Michelson?
Yeah,
Mikkelsen?
I
I think it's
Mikkelsen.
Mickelson.
Mickelson. I think that guy is awesome.
Right?
Like,
He really is.
Have you seen Polar on Netflix?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
When it's
So,
yeah.
Duh. So when he's naked. So the scene where he's got an eye patch on, right, and he's just killing everyone. I'm like, that's Solid Snake. That is Solid Snake.
Yeah.
I've got a Solid. No, that should be Solid Snake because he just is Solid Snake. Anyway, yeah, Death Stranding. I just thought was so funny how he got all these actors to come in and do these different parts, and like, it's just even for cameos alone, it was great. So
Yeah. You know who you know who I think did not hit the mark when it comes to acting in video games? That
Conan?
nomination would have to go to Death Stranding for Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm not sure he can carry being a protagonist. Norman
Yeah.
Reedus.
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
He's too much of a save the world kind of.
well, he's too sort of gruff and I don't go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
no, I'm just racking my brain trying to think of the movie.
Well, the only thing I can think of is
Why can't
Walking
I think of
Dead.
this movie? No.
No, what was he in?
No.
No, I'm thinking the other guy. Inglorious Bastards? Was he in that?
No, he wasn't in that.
I
The
can't
only
even.
thing I actually really know him from is Walking Dead. Well, it looks like we're making the wrong choice for best acting.
Now I gotta look this up.
Um,
I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna be stupid, Norm.
Yeah. It appears that our winner for the 2019 Stack Award for Best Acting is Death Stranding, Mads Mikkelsen specifically. But I really think that Telling Lies was robbed this year. Telling Lies was robbed.
Boondock Saints.
Oh,
That's it. He was
Oh.
perfect in that movie.
you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He was.
Great
I
in
take
the
it
movie.
back. You're right.
Which, by the way, one of my favorite scenes out of any movie is in that movie with the cat. Do you remember that scene?
Mhm.
It's you do. Did you say yes? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That is by far. Vendor, have you seen Boondock Saints?
I have, but I don't remember it.
Oh,
It's been a
cat
long
scene
time
was the
since I've.
best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys will be happy to know that Mads Mikkelsen also won Best Acting in real life for Video Game Awards. So,
Oh.
Lovely. Well deserved. So that brings us to our next category, Best Shooter. And for me, this choice was, again, an easy choice. It was The Division 2. That was my favorite shooter this year. Rick is making a gross face here, but you play a lot of shooters. I don't play a lot of
do.
shooters. The Division 2 is also the only shooter that I've played this year. So it's a fun game though, very fun video game. The shooting is fun. I enjoy following Rick around and being the boon to his career, and it's a good game. I like it. I like the shooting.
okay.
Bender.
My nomination for Best Shooter is The Outer Worlds. It's not really a shooter, but the shooting mechanics in it were awesome.
They are comfortable. They are good.
They were very good, and I loved it. And so, good job. There is another one that I have listed here, but I'm not going to say it. It will always be a mystery.
I want to know. You can't do this to me.
Yeah. Or me.
I don't play shooters, you guys. I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, we know that.
You're good at
and
them, though.
it was tough. I had to go through all the trailers and everything, and then I thought, no, I think with this one I need to go back to what I've played.
Mhm.
And so it is The Outer Worlds. It's The Outer Worlds. That is my nomination.
What was your runner up?
Apex Legends,
Ah,
I could understand that.
yeah.
only because it won everything for best
Yeah,
shooter.
it was a highly
So,
successful
yeah.
shooter
And I was
this
like,
year.
okay, well, let me just watch. Oh, I can get on board with that.
Mhm.
So,
Indeed. Rick, what was your best shooter of the year?
McGavin. No.
I
Thank you.
don't know why that was so funny.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare actually was the best shooter in my opinion and the reason is it's that little game type called gunfight where it's 2 versus 2. You've got 20 seconds per round. The guns are scattered around the map. You start with nothing. And when the snap goes, you got to run for the gun. And then you got to run and gun. And I love that old school aspect of like you start with nothing and you got to run and like you pick the gun up off the ground. And that's just great. It leads to those moments of like where like I can't find a gun and you're like trying to punch the dude who's shooting at you. Or the case of like GoldenEye, you're just kind of waving your hand like whoosh, 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 as you're getting shot at with a DD7. Anyway, yeah. So Call of Duty, and then also the missions were fun, where the guns felt good. They felt accurate. It was still that like laser beamish kind of feel from Call of Duty with a slight recoil, but it wasn't so bad like in the other Call of Duty games. So they really tried to mix arcade with realism. So think of it as like the need for speed of shooters, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really good. It was fun, and the multiplayer was fun. But Gunfight, man, is just such. If you were an old school FPS player, Gunfight is where it is at.
Interesting. Okay.
Well,
so
I mean, not being the shooter person, first person, or the shooter game person, I can get behind Division having played it. So I mean, if I had to choose,
I feel like you've hurt Rick's heart. He's
It's
Call
just
of Duty has won way too many awards for a lifetime,
it's
Rick.
smooth and buttery. Division is like eating like a steak sandwich, but it was cut out of like a really fatty cut. Yeah, it's tasty and there's some good moments, but you just get caught the gristle, and that's when like you look at your gun and you realize that when you put the silencer mod on it, the barrel has now disappeared and it's just kind of floating out in the distance. Fine, it can win.
I mean,
Oh.
it's a shooter. It's a shooter.
So the winner for the 2019 Stack Award for Best Shooter is The Division 2. Congratulations to everyone at what are they called? Massive Entertainment?
Whatever studio you are.
I think they're called Massive.
Genuinely, Division 2 was an absolute joy, and I do like playing it solo as well as with you, Shalene. And Vendor, you are one hell of a sniper when you play that game. So.
Stop trying to get me back into it. It's
I'm
not going to
I'm
happen.
not. I'm
You're
just
so
genuinely saying you
good.
are a good shot.
He's so good
He's
at these
like-
games. It's incredible.
He's like that horror movie person who's like, I just don't believe in guns. No guns. And then finally they're like forced to shoot a gun. Like, bam, 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 bam. It's like 15 headshots in a row, and all the main characters are like, did you see
Okay.
that? Like, that's Vendor.
Okay, congratulations to the Division 2. And the best open world is our next category, and this one was a bit of a tougher choice for me because I didn't play a ton of open worlds this year.
Yes.
Yeah, I really didn't. And I think I'm gonna have to give this one to the Outer Worlds.
This was a tough choice.
But
so.
I actually didn't play that much of the Outer Worlds, so I feel a little bit guilty about giving that my vote. I expected to love the Outer Worlds, and I do love the Outer Worlds, but it didn't suck me in this year. So I know I'm going to play that game. I know I'm going to enjoy it, but it was almost too familiar and too much what I wanted. You know what I mean? It was almost too familiar.
Yeah.
But I didn't play a ton of open worlds, so that's definitely going to be my nominee for best open world.
This was by far the hardest category. I put one in and then I deleted it, and then I put another in and then I deleted that one, and I went back to the original one and then I deleted that and I put something totally new in, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. But the best open world for me, and Outer Worlds was a tough. That almost was it. But the nomination for me is Red Dead Redemption 2 for PC.
That's a good nomination. That's a very
Yeah.
good nomination.
It's probably one of the best open world games I've ever played. So that's my nomination, and I don't think it needs explanation. The only thing I can say is play it if you haven't.
It's a very
You'll
good
be
nomination.
so amazed. But the reason I didn't choose the Outer Worlds was because I was a little disappointed with how restricted movement from planet to planet was. And there wasn't any animations of flight or entry or any sort of thing like that. The screen just kind of like went black into a loading screen. And then suddenly you were on the planet and your ship was landed. And I'm like, come on, really? Even No Man's Sky had the time to do that. So,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
yeah, so it is a really good open world though. It was a tough choice for me. Yeah, Rick.
Metro Exodus.
I didn't know
I'm
it was open
sensing a
world.
theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so yeah, it's open world ish. There are a few maps that are rather large and open. But they accomplish what open world games fail to do very regularly, like Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a good bit of something in places, and then all of a sudden, whole lot of nothing. It's just a whole lot of scenery to ride through, and ain't nothing much going on. And what's really cool about Exodus is they've compacted those areas where the pace between things to do and the wandering are perfect. Like you don't get bored while you're traveling to a different little special interest. There's always something kind of happening or something that you can see or something interesting or the scenery is beautiful, but it's not like a long stretch of nothing. Like when you have a game that has an open world and it's so big where you could have a ride along conversation for about 10 minutes before you reach your destination, really big, not a lot going on. And Metro Exodus doesn't really have that. Even the cutscenes where you're riding the train between locations is only as long as you want it to be. You can, as soon as you get out of the main little talking thing, you can walk right over to the fast travel area or like the next scene area and go right to the next area. You don't have to like sit on the train and wait. And the other thing that was really cool, one of the maps that stuck out to me was like the desertish area. There's this, if you go to the airfield, you can clear out the airfield and go to the top of the watchtower. And when you're up there, the windows are busted out, like blankets are flowing, it's quiet, you can hear the wind, and it's just this really cool feeling. I don't know. It's like
I
when
get
you
it.
play Fallout 3 for the first time and you had these moments, or like New Vegas, of like just like you almost felt the wind and it was just this
Yeah.
open space and it just was, it was like that again. You're like, oh man, this is awesome.
Cool.
So yeah, Metro Exodus for me is the winner, or well, my nomination for open world.
Okay.
I'm not saying big. I just mean
Yeah, it's the
design of
best
it.
in your way of thinking. I am
Ish.
willing to throw my vote behind Red Dead 2, though.
Okay.
I'm not. Can't. Vendor,
So-
what was your nom?
It was Red Dead, but for
That's what I
me, I have spent more time in the game just wandering around than I
Mhm.
have actually doing the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what it was for me. That's what the nomination was.
Yeah.
So, and I was
I
just
definitely I can get behind that.
yeah, because yeah, that's it. But
Okay, so the
Red Dead was not the worst of all the by far.
But
of the
yeah,
open
but we
worlds.
know
It was
what
very good open
Rockstar.
world.
We know what
it's
Rockstar
what they do.
games.
It's what they
Yeah,
do.
it's what
they're
they do,
very
right?
good at doing that. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rockstar, expect your small certificate in the mail. We'll probably
A
put it
stack
in a
of
dollar
words.
store frame.
Indeed.
Actually, we'll just put it in a sheet protector.
The 2019 Stack Award for Best Open World is Red Dead Redemption 2. Congratulations, Rockstar Games. That brings us to our next category, Best RPG. And this one was tough for me again because I didn't play a ton of RPGs this year. I really didn't. And that's kind of a sad thing because I adore RPGs, but I feel like there are fewer and fewer true RPGs coming out. It's more action games with RPG elements, what we're seeing in today's marketplace. But for me, the best RPG was The Outer Worlds. I did play enough to really appreciate the depth of the systems that they have put into this world. You know, they nailed it. They knocked it out of the park in terms of dialogue options and how your choices affect the future of the game and your character build. The differences you can do in your character build really affect how you live in that world, how you exist, the things you can do. I think it's great. So The Outer Worlds is my choice for the best RPG.
So my nomination for best RPG is The Outer Worlds. I echo everything that you said, Shalene, and I will add that the character plot and ways in which you can spin the storyline are so deeply entrenched in the overall outcomes and of the surrounding world and the end game that it is easily for me one of the best role-playing games. And this was highly biased because I got really into it, but I thought it was brilliantly done. Yeah. Also, I just want to say that although my nomination for best narrative was A Plague Tale, they have done a fantastic job with the dialogue options in The Outer Worlds.
They really did.
Like there have you guys know what kind of I'm a little bit of a cynic and a misanthrope, and some of the dialogue options are some things that I would think in my head, like get out of here. I don't want to deal with your crap. That is a dialogue option. Glorious, absolutely glorious. So yeah, you can be a jerk if you want to. What about you, Rick?
I think this is going to be our one and only hat trick. My best RPG was also The Outer Worlds for the exact same reasons.
Yes.
So, role playing as, Captain Reynolds from the Serenity was great. It's exactly everything I wanted. Even stuck with handguns for most of the game.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was perfect. The Outer Worlds was quite forgettable, and it definitely doesn't have the replay value that I hoped it had. For me personally, but that first playthrough was just what
Kid
the
in a
doctor
candy
ordered.
store.
Just
Yeah.
perfect. Just that it hit at the right time when everything else was going to crap. You're like, here's a great game. This is comfort food. And they had that RPG. Again, like you guys were saying, the dialogue options, the character customization. Um, One thing that I wish it had better was more armor and weapon choices.
Yeah, I agree
So you
with
could
that.
kind of customize that a little bit more, but they made up for that in the amount of hats you can have. But yeah, so it's safe to say I think that the award for the best RPG of 2019 was The Outer Worlds.
Indeed. Can I do the soundbite? The 2019 Stack Award for Best RPG goes to The Outer Worlds. Congratulations to everyone at Obsidian, and thank you for bringing this wonderful game into our lives.
Oh, we really should hire somebody to do the announcements
We
every year.
should.
Yeah.
We need a moderator.
And then there's a brief awkward pause while Shalene opens the envelope. Yeah. Anyways.
Best Puzzles is our next category, and I don't remember what my nominee was. Let me check. Best Puzzles
Yeah,
was
both
The
of them.
Sojourn. The Sojourn was an indie game. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this one. It was a first-person puzzle game. I played it and adored it. And The Sojourn is a little bit like The Witness if it made sense. I really, really liked The Sojourn. It tells the story of this young man's growth into manhood and old age, and sort of the story of the world that he lives in, and his family and the choices they've made. And the puzzles in this game are really interesting. They don't hold your hand. They expect you to be smart enough to figure out how to use the tools they've given you, which is nice. I feel like many puzzle games, especially in the early levels, tend to be a little patronizing. So I appreciated that I was challenged a bit in the Sojourn, and that I got to experiment and learn on my own what to do. And they introduce new elements at just the right speed. And they introduce new ways for you to use the puzzle solving elements that you've already gotten used to, and it's challenging without being frustrating. And I loved The Sojourn, and it was the best puzzle game of 2019. So, Fender,
Okay.
what's yours?
My best puzzle game for 2019 is the nomination for that is TikTok: A Tale for Two.
I saw you guys stream that.
Yeah, so this was a Christmas gift from Jess, and basically this game is unlike any other puzzle game I have ever seen. So basically how it goes is that you play with two people, tale for two, and what you see on your screen and what I see on my screen are different, and we have to communicate to each other to try and solve the puzzle together. And man, does this game ever mess with your mind? The story that is entrenched behind it. Puzzler, bit of a puzzle. I think that this game had me thinking about my own existence long after it was over. 10 out of 10 would recommend playing it with a friend. I'm really looking forward to future installments of this game. So my vote goes to TikTok: A Tale for Two.
Okay, Rick, what do you have today?
Just for sheer nostalgia's sake, the best puzzle game would be Resident Evil 2. And it's not necessarily because it's a puzzle game, but because there are some puzzles inside of it, and they were fun because it was reminiscent of those Resident Evil puzzles that I really liked from Resident Evil 2, 1, and 3 back in the PlayStation 1 days. So I don't play a lot of puzzle games. I don't have a lot of experience or opinion in that world, so I went with what I could think of. So
You know what? That's not a bad nomination at all.
it's not the best.
It's but it's not a bad nomination, Rick. I really enjoyed solving those puzzles with you when we
Yeah, they were
played
fun.
through that game. I had a little notebook full of notes, and that was basically a way that I could feel like I was contributing to the experience and not just hanging out, and that was a lot of
Your
fun.
screams were contribution enough.
Are we gonna let's play Resident Evil 3 when it comes out?
You bet.
Yes! I'm excited. I'm so excited. I really enjoyed doing Resident Evil 2 that way. It's a good system because I love horror as a genre, but I'm too scared to do it myself. So this way I get to experience it. Yeah. Wow, I took us off the rails. We need to choose a winner, guys. I don't know what to do. We've come from very different.
Let the chat decide.
Okay, let's hear some votes. 1 for The Sojourn, and a 2 for TikTok. Is that what it was called? A Tale for Two?
Mm-hmm.
And 3 for Resident Evil 2. So while
naturally Jess says 2 because she played it with me.
Indeed.
I think that's a perfect winner.
We have Sojourn.
Oh, Sojourn. We need a tiebreaker. Next vote
Sojourn
wins.
was really good. It was
Next
really
vote
good.
wins.
Next vote wins. But
Sojourn
let's see
was
what
beautiful
happens.
too. That was almost my nominee for art style. If Manifold Garden hadn't come out this year, Sojourn would have also been my vote for art. So we're just waiting for more votes, guys. I know this is some thrilling audio.
Well, we can move on and come back.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So our next category is Best DLC. And I don't remember what my nominee was. Okay. I had a really hard time choosing Best DLC. Um, but I. Cheater! You cheater!
You can't vote twice, vendor.
You cheat. Vendor just put a 2 in the chat. You cheater.
What? Who's that? No, that's Vendar.
Oh, is that Vendor
Vendar.
Trone? Is that Vendor
Yeah.
Trone in the chat?
Vendor.
You dirty cheater.
You dirty rat. You the guy that shot my brother.
When I finally
I'm the guy that's
ended
gonna
up
shoot you.
choosing for best DLC was the Seabound Soul for Sea of Thieves. I really, really enjoyed that tall tale, you guys. And the other thing that I had a hard time choosing between was the Nuka Shine for Fallout 76. I really enjoyed it. I loved the new area. Don't put your you just wipe that disgust off of your face right now, okay? I don't want to hear it from you, okay? But it was fun. It introduced a new area that I still go back to on the regular, that I enjoy, a character that I enjoy in Biv, and this whole bivvy of things to do. And I liked it. But the Seabound Soul was my choice because it was incredible. It was really good. The story was great. The animations, the voice acting were all lovely. And the quest that it had us doing was different than anything we'd done before. The puzzle in the Seabound Soul was so interesting. It was so interesting. I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed playing it with you guys. So that's my vote. Seabound Soul for Sea of Thieves.
That's a
Thunder.
good choice. That's a good choice. My nomination for best DLC might come as a surprise and maybe a disappointment, but that goes to No Man's Sky Beyond. Now, No Man's Sky, as we all know, had a very rocky start when the game launched. People were very disappointed. I think people still might even be disappointed having never returned to the game. But Sean Murray and the developers and his team worked perilously to try to rebuild and regain that relationship with the gaming community. And I think that they deserve some merit to date on the work that they've put in building and creating the game to what it should be, as promised. This last bit of DLC called No Man's Sky Beyond, it expands the multiplayer to 32 player lobbies. But not only that, they introduced support for VR, which was a big deal, and they added the Nexus Hub, which was a huge, huge addition to the game. It changed everything. The vast bulk of the improvements, I would say, are focused on giving depth specifically to characters or character for gameplay. And also, they added other environmental factors like being able to tame animals, but also even crazy things like programming computers. So I think that this was probably the beefiest DLC that I've seen of all the video games that I've played this year. So that's my nomination.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick, what's your choice?
Shadowkeep for Destiny 2. And the reason that is my nomination is because not only did they give you a very awesome story that was arching between the universe and the moon that you can go to, and it deals with some of the mysterious things that happen at the end of the main Destiny storyline. But they create an equal playing field for everyone, where everyone who was playing before got jumped up in level, so everyone's at a playing field, and you have to grind less to get higher levels. There's an awesome, if you are part of the season, there's a reward track. So as you level up, you get rewards, not levels. You just get like rewards in the season. And they added a lot more fun content that's repeatable, but it's entertaining and fun, and it's not a grind like it used to be. The grind is still there if you want it, but the grind is not there if you don't want to do it. And I think this balance is what, if you remember when I was saying with Destiny, they made it when Bungie was underneath of I think Activision.
Mm-hmm.
There was this feeling of you can only play Destiny 2 to access the best parts of it. And content was coming out so fast that if you didn't keep up, you got left behind, and you can't access the new bits. Well, with Shadowkeep, they leveled that playing field. So now you can jump right in, and it doesn't take long to play with everybody else, and that feels so good.
If I jumped back in, now, if we started playing together again,
Yep.
we wouldn't have to grind through the other
No.
DLC over and over to be able to access the next one.
Nope, you can access it right away. There are some areas where obviously it is too hard. Like, the light level right now is 750. It would be difficult to go into some areas, but it takes maybe an hour or two of playing, and
Mhm.
you're right up there and you can do it. I had no going through the main story. I had no issues after the main Shadowkeep story accessing everywhere in the DLC,
Nice.
and it's great. So that's my nomination, and Moon Sonid, gotta go.
Okay, guys, we have another impasse for best DLC.
Jess earlier voted for Shadowkeep, so
Okay,
just state
and
that
we
out
still haven't picked the best puzzles. Maybe we should weight Jess's vote a little higher since she's a mod, and award it to
there. Yeah.
TikTok. Tail for
So
two.
TikTok gets it,
Okay.
and
TikTok,
Shadowkeep.
tail for 2.
Okay, sounds good. I'm good with that. TikTok, a tale for 2 for best puzzles, and best DLC is Shadowkeep for Destiny 2.
Shadowkeep.
Are you okay with that, Vendor?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. So our next choice is best best independent game.
What if we accidentally got somebody wrong, you guys? Oh, that would be embarrassing. Woo.
Best independent game. I don't remember what I chose. The Sojourn. The Sojourn is my choice for best
Oh.
independent game. And it's basically for all those reasons that I said before when we were talking about puzzles. The
Mhm.
puzzles were incredible. The Sojourn made me think in a different way. I felt like I was a better person for having experienced this game. I felt like I was smarter and better at thinking at the end of
Okay.
it than I was when I started. And
I don't know that's possible.
the
You're pretty smart already.
I don't know about that, but I
Mm.
also enjoyed the art style, the music, the story. It was a very impressive game, in my opinion. I quite enjoyed the Sojourn, so that's my vote. Vendor, indie games.
This was tough because I didn't play a lot of independent games this year. Last year. Last decade. Anyways, so I kind of did a little bit of digging. And I really wanted to sort of highlight a game that I think really deserves some acknowledgement. And that nomination goes to Outer Wilds.
I've heard good things.
It's gotten really great reviews. It's an independent game. It's been very well developed, I think. What its best comments are around the storyline. And I believe that it's won some awards actually for storyline. But for me, it's everything wrapped into one. When I'm thinking about independent games, I'm thinking about the narrative, the storyline, the art, the sounds, etc. So that is my choice. And I think that they've really done a good job batting with the big leagues, but also sort of putting their game out in the wake of the Outer Worlds, which is not an easy thing to do. Maybe that was strategic. It might have been smart because people probably think, "What is this? Is this Outer Worlds?"
Outer Wilds came out first.
Did it?
Mhm.
Oh. So maybe it was strategic then. Anyways, I thought the developers did a wonderful job in every category: art, narrative, audio, everything. Well done.
Fantastic. Rick, what is your nominee?
My friend Pedro,
Oh yes, the banana.
the banana. So this banana is not in pajamas, and what happens is you wake up in a basement, and there's a floating, talking banana telling you, "Hey, you should go kill all these people outside because they want to kill you." And you just like, okay, sure. And so you find
Can I have
Loretta,
some coffee first?
and you try to figure out why you've been kidnapped, and you just start killing a lot of people. And what's fun is it incorporates puzzles. Like, each area is kind of a puzzle in itself, how you kill people most efficiently and the most stylish. So it's like John Wick is a side scroller, and that's what's fun. And it is really difficult to get. I think I'll do really good in an area, in a level. I'll kill all the bad guys with the best ease of a trapeze artist flipping around, doing slow-mo stuff. And at the end of a level, it rates you, and it's like, you get a C. Meh. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not wick enough for this game. But it can get pretty difficult. There's a lot going on with it, and sometimes I get clunky with the controls, but it's a lot of fun. You're a dude who gets told to kill people by a floating banana, and there's a couple like really tripped out levels that are just so. Do you ever see one of those weird YouTube videos where like it's animated and nothing makes sense and it's kind of disturbing, and you leave it just thoroughly terrified and confused, and all of a sudden your hair's wet and you're like, how did what? It was like that. Like that's some of these levels where you're like, what? It just, huh? So anyway, yeah, that's my indie.
Fantastic. Well, I feel like we're much more at
No idea.
odds this year than we have been in the past. Okay, I'm waiting for some votes to roll in the chat. I don't know if we're going
Let's
to
see
get
what
any.
happens. Let's move on and see if we
okay.
can come back to it.
Mine, Jess says Outer Wilds because
Oh,
I'd
come
previously looked into it.
Darn you, Jess! Curses! The Sojourn deserves an award. Best multiplayer is the next category while the votes are rolling in for best
Hey, Vansylvania
indie.
said banana death.
Chafin says Outer Wilds.
That's okay.
Well, that's it.
I think that does it.
Does
So the best independent game for 2019 Stack Awards is The Outer Wilds. Congratulations to everyone at whatever studio made The Outer Wilds.
We're up on our knees here.
Best multiplayer. My choice. You guys are not going to be surprised by this one at all, I don't think. Tetris 99. It was so good. I still love it. I still go back to it. The Tetris
That doesn't make sense.
Battle Royale, Tetris multiplayer, smash them together into a beautiful Reese's cup of incredible puzzle stress. And it speaks to my soul. Tetris 99 could have been made specifically for me, and I love it.
Okay. Well, my nomination for best multiplayer is also Tetris 99.
Really?
Yes. That game is hella addicting and probably the best in terms of multiplayer games that came out this year, which was not a lot. So my nomination
I'm
goes
so
to
happy.
Tetris 99.
I'm so happy.
It was really good. 99 other players, they're all battling, they're bringing your level up, you're trying to combat them, and it's just intense.
The stress level is off the charts. Like, my heart beats so fast playing this game. It's
weird.
Thrilling. It's thrilling.
Yeah.
I adore
So what did you
it.
play it on, the Switch?
Oh yeah, it's only on the Switch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I played on the Switch as well then. Yeah. So
Okay,
wow,
Rick,
okay.
wipe that look of disgust
Looks
off
like
your
we
face
don't
and
need
give us a
Rick's
vote.
nomination.
You don't. But it was Borderlands 3.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay.
I had a
Borderlands
lot of
3
fun
was
playing
fun.
that
I
with
never
some
played it
friends.
multiplayer though.
I had a lot of fun playing with some friends. That game just I was thinking about it for a lot of different things, but again, like the same thing with the Outer Worlds. It was a flash in the pan and quickly forgotten, and it was kind of like very familiar but good. So, but
Okay.
I had a lot of fun playing with people.
Lovely. So the 2019 Stack Award for Best Multiplayer goes to Tetris 99. Congratulations, Nintendo. The only reason to buy Nintendo Online is Tetris 99. I love it. So
But
good.
you can get it for free, can't you, through Switch?
The game is free, but you have to have a Nintendo Online subscription to play it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. $20 a year. It's not bad. Our next category is the best old game, which is basically a chance for us to shout out our favorite game that we played this year that was not released in 2019. And I think this will not be a surprise to any of you guys. My nomination is Sea of Thieves. I've been addicted. I'm so sucked in. I love Sea of Thieves. I want to play it right now. What are we doing after the show? You guys want to play some Sea of Thieves?
We're doing a show right now. We can talk about that later.
Archon, are you in the chat? Do you want to go play some Sea of Thieves?
You're such an addict.
Shalene's just in it for the booty.
Y'all got any? Y'all got any more of that Sea of Thieves?
I don't think I need to
Really,
tell
I'm asking
anyone.
for a friend.
I don't think I need to tell anyone why Sea of Thieves is the nominee. I've talked about it ad nauseum on this very
Now-
podcast.
Sea of Thieves was released in 2018, wasn't it?
It was released in 2018. This is 2019.
Okay.
It's a typo, vendor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what the stipulation for best old
Not
game.
released.
No,
Not
any
released in 2019.
anything that was
Okay.
not released in 2019 is
Okay.
fair game.
Okay. Well, my nomination for best old game that I've played this year would have to be Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Ah.
This game totally captivated me in ways I never thought was possible. And it just hooked me right in. Hook, line, and sinker. What's amazing about this, and you might not know, but the game was released in 2012.
I've seen it. I believe it.
It's very old. But it's come a long way. You know, they've got the addition of Pro Mods now, which has totally rebuilt the game and made the graphics beautiful. It's just absolutely wonderful. What amazes me is that it has stood the test of time. There are thousands of people playing this game still. It is in the top 100 streamed games on Twitch.
No kidding.
And it has remained that way since its release. So nearly a decade later, it's ranked 100 top 100 on Twitch. It actually has also grown 100% in popularity every single year since 2016, which I think is pretty amazing. It's a little bit interesting, but it has also made me buy equipment. Steering wheel. So no other game has made me buy equipment in the past year than Euro Truck Simulator. So hats off to them.
I did quite enjoy all of your Euro Truck streams. I
Oh,
always,
yes.
They are
always
very
like hanging
fun.
out for those.
So that's my nomination.
Rick, what's your nominee?
Again, the game that made me buy equipment.
What are you holding up there for audio
It's
folks?
the
Yeah, I'm
orb.
getting
The
it. That's
orb.
the orb weaver, and then I have my my Razer Black Widow mouse. And that game would be Battlefield 5.
Mm.
It just the past year playing with friends in that game, and they weirdly have kind of fixed a lot of it. I've been really addicted in playing that game, very much like you've been with Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to keep playing Battlefield 5. It's especially with friends, it's so epic and fun, and I have a lot of good game times. I have a lot of bad times. I may or may not have dented my really nice headphones.
Oh my goodness!
Whacked
What did
it.
you do?
I dented the
Oh
grill on it because I
my.
got mad and smacked it. But I've also had some of the best triumphs in that game. So when a game can take you to your ultimate lows and ultimate highs, that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, looks like it's a toss-up.
Okay,
But I gotta say, I can get behind Sea of Thieves.
yeah,
It is pretty damn good. It's pretty
so
damn
good, isn't it? I love it so
And
much.
it's won a Stack Award in the last 2 years running. Maybe, yes, 2 years running now. And Jess also
Yeah, I
votes
think
Sea of Thieves.
Fantastic.
Internet
moms,
moms.
Euro trash.
Wow. Whew. Okay.
Archon votes Sea of
She
Thieves.
said- She says, I mean truck. Uh-huh.
Sure you
Uh-huh.
do. Sure you do.
I realize that I'm the basic one out of the three of us when it comes to games.
You're very basic.
Yeah.
Are you wearing Uggs right now and drinking a pumpkin spice latte?
Oh, come on. That's you know who with that.
Yes, I do. I am wearing some UGG slippers right now. They're glittery.
See?
They're very glittery. These are kind of old, so they're a little beat up. but
Nothing
these
is
are my
basic when you're
UGG
glittery.
slippers. Yeah. Indeed. So
The guitar. Never mind.
you are a bit basic, but we need that to balance us out. Nobody
At
would
least I'm
be
not,
as
like, Apex
interesting
basic.
if
Or PUBG basic.
it was just
Or
the weird stuff
Fortnite.
that we play. So the winner of the Best Old Game Stack Award for 2019, Sea of Thieves. Congratulations to everyone at Rare. Awards in the mail.
That would be an interesting one to send.
Yeah.
Best old game.
But it's
But
gonna
it
be
has to
updated.
have the whole thing on it. Best old game, parentheses, not released in 2019 that we played
That
this
we've-
year. It's gonna be the biggest trophy because it has to fit all that language on it.
Oh man. Go ahead.
Speaking of biggest things, our next category. Rick, don't do the face. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stop. Okay. The biggest surprise is our next category. What is the game that was the biggest surprise for you this year?
I
And
forgot
mine,
what this is.
Untitled Goose Game for me. Untitled Goose.
I was wondering if that was gonna rear its ugly honker.
I have never laughed that much playing a video game, maybe in my entire life, as Untitled Goose Game. It was
Really?
a joy, and it came out of left field. Suddenly I'm playing as this jerk goose. I've just stolen this farmer's hat, and I'm running in circles as he chases me, and honking away like a goose, honk honk. I'm trapping some poor kid in a phone booth. It was ridiculous, and I adored it, and it brightened my day. And my biggest surprise was Untitled
Wonderful.
Goose
All
Game.
geese are evil.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Fender, what was your biggest surprise this year?
Biggest surprise nomination for me goes to Overcooked 2.
Good one.
Yeah. This game came out last year. Or 2018, I should say, last year. And it really took me by surprise. I never thought that I would enjoy it as much as I have. It is a testament to teamwork and a prime example of video game addiction. Just one more round, right? Just one more round. You know what I'm talking about. The game is very endearing, though. It has a captivating nature that has me sort of strategizing even days after I've played it. I think I enjoy what I enjoy even more about Overcooked 2 is its ability to move outside of my virtual life and into my personal life. My partner and I are now playing it together, and we also really enjoy it. And it's just all around a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing it.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
But didn't you just say it came out in 2018?
Yes.
So it cannot win.
Well, the biggest surprise for me, I didn't think that it was new games because it followed after Best Old Game. So
Well, we make the
Yeah.
rules here, so
Actually, we need to have someone structure the notes.
we need
better.
parentheses in that category. Biggest surprise of new games. If
Yeah,
I
what
can
was your
think
biggest
off the
surprise
top.
of 2019?
Um,
Top of the tongue, teeth in the lips.
yeah, because I had thought about games that I had played this year, not necessarily
Yes.
games that came out.
That is
Vendertron liked the new DLC that came out.
Yes, there you go.
The Campfire Cook-Off DLC.
I
Yes,
think that's a
right.
good loophole. That's a good
Yeah.
loophole, and let's go with it. Rick, what was your biggest surprise?
Resident Evil 2. I honestly thought it was just going to be awful. I thought it was going to be stupid, like, yay, another remake, woo! But they took it in a different direction, and they're taking the same cake with Resident Evil 3. They said they're kind of revamping it and building it from the ground up. And yeah, it was
Yeah.
the biggest surprise. I had a lot of fun with that.
You know what? I'm willing to throw a vote behind that because it was a surprise to me too. I did not expect to love Resident Evil 2. I did not expect to enjoy that game, but I really did. It was fantastic, and I looked forward to those streams so much. So I'm willing to throw a vote behind that.
Thank you.
Well, I will accept your nomination without reservation.
Okay. The 2019 Stack Award for Biggest Surprise goes to Resident Evil 2. And that's it. That's it, guys. That brings us to the big one, the Game of the Year award. The Game of the Year award. The Stack
Ooh,
Award.
I'm excited
The
for
Stack
this.
Award.
Game of the Year. Guys, what I think I'm gonna catch you by surprise with this one. My nominee for Game of the Year is A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It stuck with me. I loved that game.
Okay.
So
So what was it about?
I thought the gameplay was clever.
Mm.
And I thought the world was unique and interesting. The whole idea of having all these rats and I loved the fact that you played as this character who was not some overpowered incredible warrior. You were playing as kids and they had the abilities of kids. And Amicia had her little slingshot, and she was not somebody who was going to take a bunch of hits from a big warrior. You know, you have to be clever. You have to be smart as Amicia. If you want to keep your little brother alive and yourself alive and navigate through this harsh, harsh world, you have to be clever. And I loved that. I loved the acting and the atmosphere, the environments. This game, it took me by surprise as well. It was remarkably well executed. I was very it's sort of a double A level game, but it didn't play like a double A. You know, it played like a triple A game. It was sort of like Hellblade in that respect, that it was an incredible experience that was just a bit shorter than you expect from your average triple A game. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Okay. That's a great choice. That it really is a great choice.
The dark prequel to Ratatouille, says James.
Nice. Real nice.
A Ghost's Tale. If you like Plague of Innocence, you should play Ghost's Tale. It's you're playing the mouse.
Oh.
And there's rats, and the rats are the bad guys, and it's very Secret of Nim. If you have ever watched Secret of Nim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really am gonna play the Plague of the
A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Plague Tale: Innocence.
I
Thank
really
you.
am gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you a copy of that. I'm gonna send Rick some Uncharted. It's gonna be good.
So this was tough. This Game of the Year thing was tough, man. Because a lot of the games that I played that really captivated me this year were games that didn't come out this year. So I don't know if that speaks to the state of games right now or just my own being, but maybe it's like a little bit of a combination of both. My nomination for Game of the Year is The Outer Worlds. This is a game that has captivated the community. And I think it was, it's a really delightful sort of sci-fi romp that has a lot of really sassy narrative, as I mentioned, that we've seen more so in this game than any other game I've played personally. The sharp wit and irresistible charm sort of adds to the characters that you meet throughout the storyline. And I think it was very well crafted and diverse. It's not just an RPG, this was a game that I was afraid that it was just going to be that, because it was a lot of what we seen in the trailer. But the in-game economy is very complex. The storylines are very intriguing. Each item is meticulously designed. The art is beautiful. And what I think is the Outer Worlds' defining feature is its ability to capture what we have all known and loved about video games historically, traditionally. They didn't, the way that they approached the design of their game, they didn't try to innovate too much. They stuck with what they knew. They created a product that worked well, and they released it on time, and the community loved it. That is the formula.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of developers are really missing out on that. So the award just doesn't go to the game itself. it goes to the ability for the team to produce the game. And I think their commitment to tradition has really led to their success in this front. So, yeah.
Lovely. That's an excellent nomination, and it's what I expected to be your nomination.
Yeah.
And Rick, what do you bring today?
My nomination for the 2017 Gamestack Game of the Year
2019.
is Metro.
2019. Metro Exodus did not come out in 2019 or 17.
I know. So 2019 is Metro Exodus. That was quite of a myth. Let up, build up and myth.
Sorry, I
no,
killed
that's-
that for you. I'm sorry.
It's the only game that stuck with me that came out this year. The one that I remember
Yeah.
the most of, the most vivid, the most little moments in the game that stuck with me are what I do.
Van
What do you do?
Sylvan in the chat says, Rick, you mispronounced Outer Worlds.
I always do.
no, as in like
Metro
Oh.
Exodus.
No, because Outer Worlds was highly forgettable. I remember more about my little experiences with Exodus than I do about Outer Worlds. Like Outer Worlds was just this like experience at one point. Like it's like Outer Worlds is to Cracker Barrel what Metro Exodus is to Ruth Chris. So like you have it. It's comfort food. It's made with butter and flour and salt. That's what Outer Worlds is. And you're like, yes, this was
Sounds delicious.
tasty. But it's super forgettable because it's common. Where like you go to Ruth Chris and you have a beautiful steak. It was like cooked perfectly. It was seasoned just right, and the flavors stick with you because they were unique. And that was Metro Exodus. I will remember that meal, the little bits of that meal, more than I will remember the Outer Worlds as a whole. So no, I did not mispronounce anything.
well, I don't know about you, but when I'm choosing meals, my options are not steak or cheese. So
welcome to
it'll be like
America, bro.
steak or lobster,
Exactly.
steak or burger.
Steak or cheese.
What does that have to do with cheese? What did I
Great
say?
analogy, though.
Cracker Barrel has cheese. He may not. I don't know. Do you guys
Oh,
have Cracker
don't-
Barrels in America? In
We
Canada?
have Cracker Barrel cheese.
Okay.
It's
Oh
called.
no,
The Cracker Barrel is
Cracker
a
Barrel.
restaurant. And
Cracker Barrel's a restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a restaurant, and they have like
Oh.
It
chicken and
serves like down home
dumplings. and-
Southern cooking.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it's like the kind of menu when you open up, it's like Grandpa Herschel's famous breakfast. Grandpa Herschel liked his breakfast this way, and it was like a whole
Mhm.
biography on Grandpa Herschel, who never
Yeah.
existed. It's like written like little something something for the home trip, like that. It's written like that.
Down home
Um,
cooking,
Yeah, but
comfort
it's just
food
all of it
for
is-
your
is just-
soul.
it's salt and butter and flour, and it's
Mhm.
delicious. It is delicious, but it's highly forgettable. But anyway, so that's kind of how Exodus was for me. I played the other two Metros. They were beautiful. They were great, but they refined it. The combat is still kind of funky, but they refined a lot of stuff for Exodus, and it just was so memorable to me. The little moments, the decisions, the characters, it was great. So that's my nomination.
Okay.
Tough.
So this brings us into a bit of a tough situation. Do you guys want to accept some votes from chat?
I mean, I would. No.
Wendy says, emphasis on the cracker.
Yeah. She got me with that one.
No
Mhm.
doubts there.
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like I would totally vote for A Plague Tale: Innocence.
It is a tough one. I mean, it's just I don't think there can be one winner for this. I really don't. I mean, we're too diverse in our experiences and our
Yeah.
opinions with this.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
miracle that year that Hellblade swept the Game of the Year
That
award.
was just
Yeah.
that was just an anomaly.
Mm-hmm. So, do you guys want to name it like a tie, or do you guys?
No,
do we need
because
to
we
crown
need
an
to-
ultimate winner? Who's going to get the award?
I mean, if we
PUBG.
send
PUBG.
Metro Exodus a certificate, and then we send A Plague Tale a certificate, and they talk to each other, and they find out that we both gave them the award, they're going to be so mad.
What if somebody shows up from the other studio and sees our award in the trophy case?
Yeah. You know what we are then? We're nothing but spam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spam and crackers.
Spam, spam, egg,
Okay.
spam, egg, bacon, spam, and spam.
So we
and
got to
egg.
make a choice. We got to make a choice.
So, Vendor, you sound like you're willing to throw it over to.
I would
a
throw it
Plague Tale.
totally throw it over to a Plague Tale.
Okay.
And what does the chat think though?
Yeah,
you know,
let's
you
let
guys
them
are
have a
important.
I'm just gonna
chance
side with you
to
guys.
put in some votes. And while the chat is voting for Game of the Year, I would like to do the Literal Stack Award, which is our
What is
final
this?
award. The
Yeah, what
Literal
was this?
Stack Award is a new category that I have dreamed up, and I have chosen the winner without your input.
Okay.
So the Literal
So this is more
Stack
like
Award,
the Shalene's Choice Award.
Yeah, this is a bonus award. The Literal Stack Award goes to Death Stranding because it is a game in which you carry stacks of parcels.
True.
It is
Gotcha.
the stackiest game that was
I
released
got
in
you.
2019, and the Literal Stack Award goes to Death Stranding.
Wow. Are you sure though? I feel like Tetris 99 gives them a run for their money.
Oh.
You're right.
Roasted by your own petard.
You're right.
Wow. You guys, somebody clip that. I'm never right.
Yeah, she set that whole joke up since before she
Yeah.
wrote that joke actually. and
It
you
just
killed
came
her.
to me all of a sudden. I'm like,
you
wait a
just-
minute.
like-
Tetris.
You're right. I planned that joke all day.
It's just sorry.
And it's burning quietly in the corner.
Nice.
Oh
I-
no.
Lovely.
But apparently the chat for the Goaty is saying Outer Worlds.
That was not one of the nominees.
I know, but that's what they're saying.
Only
People's
one
Choice
guy
Award.
said that. One guy said that. We've only had
Schwendy,
one
she-
vote.
No, Schwendy was saying
she said
that
Cracker Barrel.
Right, because I was comparing it to Cracker Barrel.
Oh,
was a joke.
Okay.
Van Sylvan says Outer Worlds, but then they also said Outer Worlds a second time later on in the chat. So I'm not
then
sure.
Okay.
Then Wendy. I don't know. It's still
So
undecided.
while we're waiting for votes to roll in, do you guys want to do some honorable mentions for games we played this year that were great, but not necessarily award worthy?
Yes, you mean while we're still rigging the polls.
Yes.
We will go into the honorable
voting for
mentions.
Dave.
Okay, good.
Mine are first off Void Bastards. Void Bastards was such a cool game. I just can't recommend this one highly enough. It's so cool. I don't tend to like procedurally generated stuff, but it's really incredible. It's like a mixture of so there's some BioShock there, there's some Half-Life there. It's just but it's wrapped up in this incredible art style, this 2D comic art style, but you're playing in a 3D space. It's so interesting. The sense of humor is hilarious. It's a really great game. So if you haven't checked out Void Bastards, please do. It's on Xbox Game Pass, I believe. So if you have Game Pass for either Xbox or PC, check out Void Bastards.
Now these are games that have come out in 2019.
Yes, all of these are
Honorable
games that came out in
mentions.
2019. Yeah,
Okay.
I have 3 of them, if that's okay.
Keep going.
Knife Sisters was the next one. I've talked about this a bit. It is an indie game that came out starring it's sort of a story-based visual novel thing where you play as a non-binary protagonist who discovers some mysterious things and navigates some relationship situations. And there's this whole
Yep.
supernatural element and also some really interesting psychological storylines. So I liked Knife Sisters very much. And my final one is I Love You, Colonel Sanders, which was the most fun I've had streaming this year. I really enjoyed the Colonel Sanders stream. It was hilarious. I enjoyed
Okay.
doing stupid voices and falling in love with Colonel Sanders. It was a good time.
Speaking of Colonel Sanders, did you see Pierce Brosnan's look at the Golden Globes?
No.
You haven't seen this? Oh,
No.
everyone was comparing him to Colonel Sanders. Go look up Pierce
Okay, I'm
Brosnan
just
Golden
gonna
Globes.
Google
He
this
is
real quick.
literally the hot Colonel Sanders.
Really?
Well, you should. It's pretty funny. But anyway, Vendor, while Shalene's looking up this whole thing.
Oh my gosh, he is! He is! Look at him! Look at his beard!
Oh yeah, he's Colonel Sanders right now.
Oh my lord.
And then the mustache has got a curl.
Oh my. What happened there?
I think we've lost both Vendor
Oh.
and Celine.
Wow, he looks so jolly.
Doesn't he though?
Oh my gosh. How do you go from
could
Bond
play-
to Bond villain so quickly?
Well, you live long enough.
It's terrible.
No,
It's
nothing.
terrible.
Well,
Fine.
maybe his like fried chicken will turn into a Uzi or something.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
That's
I was
really
just
funny.
saying that.
Honorable mentions for me. Well, I gotta throw a good job out to Eshade.
Mm.
So this was the game that Rick had gifted me. Basically, you're a painter exploring the island of Eshade, and you're supposed to capture the world by painting it. It's beautiful. This game is beautiful. Um, Definitely needs an honorable mention. And it has tremendous reviews. Of all of the games that I have played this year that are new, that is really the only one that I can speak to, other than to say the Overcooked DLC, which was wonderful. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Fantastic. Rick, what are your honorable mentions?
I got two. Gears of War 5, I didn't mention it all because, again, it was very much the same as normal, same as you'd expect, but it was fun. Unfortunately, my Xbox stuff glitched out on my PC and it was unplayable. But what I did play of it, it was fun, and it took me back to those Gears of War days, and it was good. The other honorable mention I wanted to point out was not Destiny 2, The Division 2. I played that thing by myself enough to like it a lot. The missions were great. The shooting is good. There are like some real big frustrations with it, but again, it wasn't. Who cares about the story? You're just saving Murica, and who cares? It's refreshing in that regard because you don't have to think about moral choices or anything. It's very clear, cut and dry, like Die Hard. So it's fun, but there's nothing new. There's nothing interesting, particularly as far as story is concerned or mechanics. It's just a fun game to play, especially playing with people. So those two were my honorable mentions.
Cool.
Lovely. Well, we are no closer to choosing a game of the year.
I think the game of the year should go to A Plague Tale.
Okay,
Innocence.
A Plague Tale Innocence.
I really think that it should.
The
I agree.
2019 Stack Award for Game of the Year goes to A Plague Tale Innocence. Congratulations to everyone at Asobo Studios, and thank you for bringing this lovely game into our lives. That brings us to listener emails for the day, and we have one Game of the Year related email. Who wants to read it?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Rick.
Unless you want to, Vendor. You look.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, it's your dear internet friend Dave from West Virginia.
Hi, Dave.
This year, the Western world reached deep into our collective emotional state of being by injecting new spins on old stories and obvious nods to years gone by. For example, I'm sorry, it's all caps. For example, Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu finds sympathy with Mewtwo for the second time in Pokemon film history. Captain Marvel crashed into a Blockbuster video only to put on a Nine Inch Nails shirt, which I think that's the best one. And many more like Lion King, Star Wars, and the entirety of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is why I'm here to make a case for Game of the Year for nostalgia's sake, because nostalgia sells. Runner up, Kingdom Hearts 3. This game constantly reminds you that you were incredibly weird for investing in a romance between two 10-year-olds in a fantasy Disney crossover. You've waited for years, and guess what the trilogy finale has? The musical entirety of Frozen's Let It Go, accompanied by a self-absorbed story written by your awkward 12-year-old self. If I stopped aging at 13, this game would be an 11 out of 10. It's a good 7 out of 10 for me now, because at one point you summon the teacup ride from Disney World and ram them into enemies. Ha! The winner, Devil May Cry 5. This game transported me to an alternate universe where it never stopped being cool to personalize your MySpace profile. You don't listen to My Chemical Romance because it's too mainstream, and your parents will never understand you. As a person with a mortgage and 401k, it's a game about a corny demon slaying teen heartthrobs is the coolest game of 2019. You have a rocket arm that you shoot at enemies and ride like a skateboard, kickflip Let's also not forget the character who is a cross between Adam Driver and Edgar Allan Poe, a heartthrob for the goth boys and girls everywhere. It's the opposite of Kingdom Hearts, where you're remembering your Doc Martin combat boots, eyeliner, and band t-shirts with pride. 10 out of 10 would moonwalk with Dante again. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Can 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 he write our show? Because this was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
This was
we
by
need
far
to bring Dave back on the show sometime.
We need to
Love
bring
Dave.
Dave back just so that we can actually have a full game of Jeopardy.
Indeed. That would be great.
That's right. Nothing but Jeopardy, because that was
Yeah.
fun.
We'll have a special episode
um,
someday.
But this was such a well-crafted email, and he's got a point. I like it.
I liked it too. Thank you for writing
Thanks for
in, Dave.
writing in.
That was great.
We love you, buddy. That brings us to the end of the 2019 Stack Awards. Guys, we did it. We got through another year. We chose some awards. We didn't kill each other. It was lovely. Join us next week for more Gamestack. Right? Or are we doing another Gamestack next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
More Gamestack next week. And then the following week, we have a special episode of that Fallout show with Victoria Rosenthal, author of the Fallout Cookbook. And Vendor, do you want to do some Life is Strange this weekend?
We're doing Life is Strange.
2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Join us for Life is Strange 2, Episode 4, Part 2. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see where this goes. Send us emails, info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com, and we will read them on the air, just like we read Dave's today. We love your emails. It's one of our favorite things to do. Find us on Twitter. I'm Shalene L. The show is We Just Love Games. I don't know why I gave myself top billing there. The show is We Just Love Games. I'm Shalene L. Rick is Rick McVick. And Vendertron is Vendertron N. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. We've got a Discord server, and it's a lovely place. Please join our Discord server. You can find that link on our Twitch page. There is a permanent link there, or alternately, you can just send a message to any of us, and we'll get you that link. We record the show live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames, twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames, which is also the Twitch channel where we do our occasional streams like Life is Strange. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Is Spotify the one everybody uses nowadays?
Yes.
Okay. Spotify. Find us on Spotify. Please like, subscribe, review the show. We love you. Thank you for listening. Rick, do you have a last word?
Do you mind if I don't smoke?